great morning.
This special broadcast of CBS This Morning is being brought to you with limited commercial interruptions by Target and Toyota.
Good morning. It is Monday, September 12, 2016. Welcome to CBS This Morning from the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. We're giving America its first extended look inside the National Mall's newest treasure. It was
including a cabin that held more than a dozen slaves and a lunch counter stool from Greensboro's sit-in for civil rights. Also, Muhammad Ali's gloves and Chuck Berry's Cadillac, honoring groundbreaking figures in sports and music.
Plus, our guest includes several history makers. General Colin Powell, Congressman John Lewis, and Attorney General Loretta Lynch will help us explore this museum's role in telling America's story.
We'll also have all the other news of the day, including the latest on Hillary Clinton's health. But we begin this morning with a look at today's eye-opener, Your World in 90 Seconds.
There's phony strength and there's real strength. And it's phony strength to not know what you're talking about. Real strength is leveling with the American people.
A health scare shakes up Clinton's campaign.
The campaign knew on Friday that she did have this pneumonia diagnosis.
It's clear that she tried to hide this, and this is going to hurt her, certainly in the short term.
And the Trump campaign is expected to hammer Hillary Clinton today on her controversial comments, calling half of Donald Trump's supporters a basket of deplorables.
This comment kind of gets very close to the dictionary definition of bigoted, so it gives Trump a talking point that he'll go back to again and again.
Ceasefire is scheduled to go into effect in Syria. This after at least 90 people were killed over the weekend in a wave of airstrikes.
15 years since the terror attacks on 9/11, the country paid tribute to the lives lost.
In the end, the most enduring memorial to those we lost is ensuring the America that we continue to be.
Operations are back to normal at the Albuquerque airport after a security scare. A fake bomb was found in the screening area, which was evacuated.
Miss America 2017 is Miss Arkansas.
And the new Miss America is Savvy Shield.
All that.
The last man standing. Arinka dethrones the world #1.
I don't know what's happening right now.
And the kick is no good. Bad snap.
We know that Tom Brady's at home watching. You want to say anything?
Love you, buddy.
And all that matters.
Walking into this building, I just almost felt as if my ancestors were rejoicing in that moment. I hope that the sense of freedom will overwhelm you. Really powerful.
Wow, I just got goosebumps.
On CBS This Morning.
It's a story that's gone beyond the sports world. Colin Kaepernick's protest sparked a national conversation. Before the game, the Seahawks interlocked arms as a demonstration of unity.
And
This morning's eye-opener is presented by Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome to a very special broadcast of CBS This Morning. We're on the front lawn of the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. A people's journey, a nation's story. That is the mantra that guides this remarkable achievement. The museum sits on the National Mall next to the Washington Monument. It tells America's story. This is a shared history, no matter your ethnic background.
The public. And boy, do we have a show for you. Congressman John Lewis and Attorney General Loretta Lynch are here with us. They both played a first-hand role in that history.
Plus, James Brown talks with an Olympic champion about changing the world on and off the field. But first, here is today's eye-opener at 8.
News of Clinton's pneumonia came as a surprise to the reporters who cover her. The first sign that anything was wrong came yesterday morning.
How long does a recovery usually take?
Usually people recover within days, and sometimes it can take up to weeks.
Before Hillary Clinton's health scare, the biggest political story of the weekend was Clinton's blanket denunciation of millions of Trump supporters.
Will that do damage to her in your judgment?
It depends how it gets defined going forward. The Trump people would like to define it as Hillary Clinton writing off a whole half of the country. If that's the case, that's not good for Clinton.
Services were held across the country, marking the 15th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks.
We will never forget, and you will never be alone. And those are not just words.
In Syria, ceasefire is expected to begin. It's part of an agreement between the U.S. and Russia.
This has been in concept for 100 years, and now it's here, and it's beautiful, it's magnificent, and I think the American people are going to love coming to this place.
We got to say this is cool.
Did you sit in the driver's?
You know, you're supposed to treat artifacts with respect, but of course I sat in. Are you kidding me?
It's not just an African-American history here.
No, this is an education for all Americans. If we do it right, we'll know how all of us have been shaped by this story.
This morning's Eye Opener at 8 is presented by Toyota.
With Gail King and Nora O'Donnell, we have just entered the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture here in Washington. That does it for us. A quick moment. To do something like this, it requires a remarkable group of men and women behind the scenes.
Yes.
So our credit and your credit to them.
Yes, very much so. You know, they say when you come here, expect tears at Emmett Till's casket. A lot of smiles, the Soul Train costume. Soul Train, you can't look at this. But I love Langston Hughes' quote, "I too am America," which is in big, bold letters right over our shoulders.
Yes.
Sums it up.
Please come. It's beautiful.
Yes.
You've just got a taste of what's in the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. We'll bring you much more in the coming days and weeks on CBS This Morning. We want to thank everyone and remind you that on September 24th, it opens.
Yes.
This special broadcast of CBS This Morning was brought to you with limited commercial interruptions by Toyota and Target. Isaac Hu has mastered gravity-defying moves to amaze his audience.